Hello and welcome to another episode of SqEngineering Engineering. I'm Sprutis, and in today's super episode we are going from start to finish about this stainless steel exhaust that I've wanted to build for many years, a minimum of 12 years now. So let's not waste any more time and jump into it. So in the engine bay I have put back the turbine housing. It's only held in with one nut, but just enough to make it sit flush on the manifold flange. We have the first bend that I just tacked on. I will tack everything before I commit to it, but yeah, it will simply point down. So as you can see, we have lots of space there, and since we get this one further back, we will have a bit more room for the lambda sensor. And also, as you might be able to see, or know at least, we have no support between the gearbox and the engine block, because that one is here, and these were never installed on my car, and I'm not sure if these are the correct ones. I know, or I've read that there are variants for the 7M GT and the 7M GE. So hopefully these are the correct ones. Maybe there is a difference between this, in this part of it, depending on the gearbox, R154 or W58. But anyway, we have a pipe that I've been saving for many years, which I can't really use because we need this dimension. And as you can see, the pipe is too small, and that's too bad because we have these nice stainless steel flex pipes. We have a stainless steel flange for the wastegate. We have a lambda sensor bung. We have two 2-inch V-band from Speeding with steering, so that's nice, and also two more of the 3-inch. I had 3, but one is already on the turbine housing. I will put one here on the silencer, and then I think I will put the other one between the downpipe and the catalytic converter. So in case I want to make a test pipe or whatever, then it's easier. We have a big 3-inch stainless steel flex pipe, and oops, we have two smaller bends. I have some more pipes as well, several long ones, much longer than this. So yeah, and also these smaller pipes, I was thinking about using them as hangers, but we'll see. These rubber mounts, I intend to use these for the mount of the rear silencer. So here we see most of the old exhaust, and we had a total of 3 mounts or hangers made out of threaded rod. So there will be, no, we had 4. Yeah, we have some rear axle jump pipe, some straight pipes, we have the catalytic converter, we have a flex, we have a few bends, and a lambda sensor. And here you see the old downpipe. Yeah, it was supposed to be semi-permanent. And here you see at the rear of the car where the silencer mounts. The old mount, rusty and also semi-permanent with its zip tie hangers. So no more things like that. And there is the other one that will also be replaced. We also have another muffler here but that one is way too big. Maybe I could shorten it. Yeah. I will make this stainless steel exhaust without mufflers besides the last one to start with, just to hear the sound. So it's the next day and I did not get much done yesterday. I managed to drill 2 holes, mark out the center line of that, cut it, and that's it. I am most often overthinking things. So that's how I spent most of my time in the garage yesterday. But I think I'm gonna trick myself a bit, so I will be doing the things that might be a bit easier. Cut off some of the old V-bands and tack on the new ones where those are needed. I've also managed to find the rubber hangers that I intend to use in some places. So yeah, let's just get the cutting and welding and whatever. Here we have the first piece on the cutting table. It's the rear silencer, and I've used some green marker so that I can more easily see where I scribe a line. And I will be using this to get a line that goes all the way around. And I will try my portable bandsaw. It does come with a stand, but the stand does not like this diameter, so I will use it in portable mode. So we will see how this goes. Okay, so that went extremely well. I'm actually really impressed. Hopefully I showed the GoPro video in real time, so you can see how quick it actually went through. So yeah, now we just need to clean this up with a wire wheel, both inside and outside, and then I can tack the new flange on. I will make sure that it's properly aligned and so on. But first I will try and use the saw in the stand and cut the flanges of the catalytic converter. And I think I'm gonna go down a bit so it's not as long as it is currently. The reason for the length is because it's matching with the stock catalytic converter if you put V-bands on it. But I will never go that route again. In case I need to replace it, I will get a new one. So I think I can shorten this a bit. We'll see. Here we have the catalytic converter, so I would start with tacking on the V-band flange on that. So 3 pieces have been spot welded in place. We have one V-band flange on the catalytic converter, one on the silencer, and then we also have a bend spot welded to the flex pipe. So I spot welded a few pieces together. It's a little bit more than 90 degrees from this up to here, so I will need to adjust it, but I need to have something to hold in place so I can get a better view of what's going on. The new silencer mount, a bit sturdier than zip ties. So it's another day and I've been working a bit, and as you can see, let's turn on the light. We have a downpipe. I think this will work good. It looks a bit close between the wastegate and the downpipe, but from what I saw underneath, it should be fine. So we have a 90 degree bend, a straight pipe, and then like a 45 degree twisted a bit into the flex pipe. And then if we go underneath, so there you can see the flex pipe. We have a piece of straight pipe and then like a 45 degree twisted into another 45, and then a straight pipe going to the, there will be in the middle of the picture, there will be a V-band connecting to the catalytic converter. From another angle, so it's quite okay with regards to clearance, both towards the car but also towards the ground. And here is where it's ending up, and it will be something like this. And then here we have the heat shield, which is above the catalytic converter. So this will be nice. And up there you can see the outlet. So these two 45 degree bends open up between the gearbox and the downpipe to give room for the wastegate pipe. So that will be welded as well. All these pipes that you see are only spot welded with a TIG. I will weld it at a later date. I will also need to see if I can reinstall the reinforcement bracket between the gearbox and the engine block, and if it clears the wastegate pipe and wastegate. Not sure about that. And then here we have the flange for the wastegate, stainless steel. And I don't have the correct size, so I will waste a bit of TIG rod and welding gas, make an slanted adapter to the V-band, and yeah, we will see. Maybe I scrap this idea, we will see. And also the catalytic converter. I already connected the V-band, which is towards the downpipe, and here we have a straight pipe which will be welded on here, and it will go towards the rear of the car. And I'm trying to go as straight as possible between the catalytic converter and the rear subframe. And then also the material for the wastegate pipe, which is smaller than this, but I think it will be fine. And here we have the bandsaw again. So I managed to get the band to jump off the rubber wheels and so on, so I had to take it apart a bit we have these hatches or access doors, but it took a few tries, so I've made one cut with it after reassembling it, and it seems to be working, so that's nice. Yeah, and then just an angle grinder and some tools for massaging the pipes. I just realized that there is a light. I didn't think about that previously. So that's nice. You won't really see anything, but it's a nice feature. So it's just another day and I've already started, so let's have a look at that. So we have the catalytic converter, we have the pipe, and I made slots because the diameter is a bit different. So I will put some TIG rods in the slots or something, and then I can place it and take my time in centering it over the catalytic converter. Then we have the downpipe, and we no longer have an angled cut at the end. Instead we will have this V-band, so it's basically ready to be welded. I just want to add a few extra tacks on these connections before I break anything off by accident. So this is how I'm putting the pipe together with the catalytic converter. After welding I will be able to pull these out, and yeah, then it's good. So as you can see, we now have a downpipe installed and the catalytic converter, and then also the pipe that goes straight, the one closest to us. We will need a bend, and then we can go underneath the subframe and then up here where the silencer will be. But looking from this angle, I see that we have quite a lot of space. So maybe we should try and tuck the catalytic converter a bit. Maybe. I did put the pipe going out from the catalytic converter on an angle, so I will need to do some cutting before I do the final welding of that. So then we also have a mount for the rear silencer. So this is stainless, this I don't know, but this will be have to do for now. At least it's better than the zip ties that we're hanging out here on both ends. So now it will be sturdy, and as you saw previously, there is a bushing. It's still hot, that's why I'm a bit hesitant with touching it, but underneath here there will be a bushing and then just M8. So yeah, now we have both ends fixed. So for the last piece we need a bend connecting to that pipe somehow, and then a straight pipe going underneath the subframe. We need a bend coming up and then rounding the fuel tank and connecting to the silencer. And for that we have these pieces. Might need an extra bend. These are the bends, so we have 1 and 2 bends left. So this one end will connect to the silencer. Then I will extend this end with this pipe, and hopefully that can connect with this. Otherwise I need an extra bend, and this one is then connected to this pipe, which will later be cut down to connect to the other part of the exhaust. So as you can see, we now have this piece spot welded to the other piece of the exhaust. So now I just need to go from here up to here. And initially I had this, but this ends up in the wrong place. So instead I would take this and sort of go up to here, but then we will have a difference in angle between this and this. So I will use the remaining bend, and hopefully I will be able to join this to this via this. So let's see how that goes. So there is now a new exhaust, and as you can see it's a bit off center, so I need to adjust it a little bit, but it's only spot welded, but I think this will be good. It looks like I have the clearances that I intended to have, so yeah, some cuts are a bit wider than others, but yeah. And it took some time creating this final piece, but I think it turned out quite well. So yeah, I think I will do a bit of adjustment on a later date, but other than that I'm quite happy with this. So yeah, I'll catch up with you a bit later, or on a later date. Okay, so I am now happy. The only thing is needs to come up a bit like so, but this joint and this joint have been cut apart and re-welded several times just to get the silencer in the correct position. So I will weld this part all the way to the red bar over there. After that I will readjust it so that I tuck it up a little bit, just get the catalytic converter up a little bit more. So yeah, let's get to welding. So this is how far I got before the gas ran out. So we have one side of the V-band towards the silencer, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 and pieces of these 3. So need to get some more welding gas and then finish this, then make the other mount and also weld the V-band to the silencer, and then we can make a cut around here just to angle this piece a bit more. So another day and some more progress. As you can see, I cut off the piece. Well, the cut is in the middle of the picture and it went to the V-band over there. And I did that so
well, the primary goal of that is to tuck the exhaust closer to the prop shaft and get the catalytic converter up in the proper area so that it's not the lowest part. And the bonus benefit of that is that I could tuck the exhaust a bit tighter around the rear subframe. I still have the mount up there to create, and I have tacked on this one. So I've had these rubber mounts for a very long time, so I took a piece of stainless steel, an M8 screw, and tacked it in place. So it's holding the exhaust over there, but here we have a jack stand, because if I let this go, then we need to have something connected up there in order to avoid having the exhaust swing down. But yeah, let's see what happens the next time I'm in the garage. So I cut off the V-band flange on the opposite side from us, and angled the catalytic converter so that it's more snug against the body of the car. So I think that will be fine. So now we just need to connect this pipe to the catalytic converter. So it's another day, and a few more tacks have been made, and yeah, it looks okay. We will see if I make any more changes. So another day, and another bracket is tacked onto the exhaust. So the only problem is, as you see, the original hanger is well, it has space for a bigger bushing, so I will need to take care of that, because currently the yellow hanger can move, which is not really good. So I will take care of that somehow, maybe just a pipe and a washer before putting on the yellow exhaust hanger. And we have 3 spot welds, as you can see. So that means that at least this part is ready to be welded. So all we are missing now is the pipe for the wastegate and the fitting for the wideband sensor. And we have also completed the hanger just before the silencer. That one was a little bit tricky because I couldn't really see where I was welding, and I didn't want to aim the torch towards the fuel tank, which is above you currently. But I think this turned out well enough to move forward with. I'm thinking about adding another one on this side of the exhaust hanger, just to have like a slot for the bushing. We will see. Maybe not. So the rear part of the exhaust is finished. It's not the prettiest of welds, but and I didn't back purge it like I wanted to, but this is good enough for the one that is going to use it. So now we can focus on the downpipe and the wastegate pipe.
spoke too soon. We have it connected to the silencer and the hangers that I made, one there and one next to the diff, but it's not connected to the downpipe. The problem is this connection. I need to cut it and reposition it so that we close this gap. So yeah, I'll take it down and redo. Then we can move on to the downpipe, hopefully. So I cut off this piece and then I put in a bigger piece. This one is only held in by friction. So I will tack this and hopefully I can put enough tacks so that it won't be damaged when I remove it to fully weld it. So I put some spot welds in place. So I think it's about 6 or something per cut. So hopefully that will hold. Let's see if it works. And it worked. The rear half, or the cat back, is completed, and I still have this jack stand supporting the downpipe because I don't want to put too much strain on the exhaust hanger that is on the other side. You can see the yellow bushing. So now we have the downpipe to take care of and wastegate pipe. So it's another day and another chance to work on the exhaust. And as you can see, it's very tight between the downpipe and the subframe. So I need to cut this back about, I don't know, 15-20 millimeters, extend above the flex pipe the required amount, and then it should clear, and then we can focus on the wastegate. So I'll remove this and remove some tacks and see what we can do. So I changed my mind a bit. What we need to do is get this edge upwards. So the easiest way is of course to cut this down. So I've made some marks so that I just remove the spot welds, move it up, and I will also disconnect this piece so that I can adjust it according to the new shape. I think that will be better. Okay, so we now have something that looks okay. Maybe we could angle this piece a bit more towards the rear or upwards. We will see if I correct that or not. Maybe if I cut the joint between the bend and the flex pipe on the top side and just angle it slightly, that might work. I will need to look a little bit more. So it's another day, and as you can see, we have a wastegate pipe. So it starts with the flange against the wastegate, then down to a V-band, down to a flex pipe, and then into the downpipe. No tacks between the wastegate pipe and downpipe. I will do that tomorrow. But yeah, this took me forever, so it's not perfect, and we do go down, so I can't point, but in the middle of the picture we have 2 inch, and then we go down to 1.75 inch, I think. I doubt that I will have any restrictions because of this. The reason why I go down in size is because the flex pipe was in that dimension, and I got it from the trash. So I made my own sort of size cone. Again, another day, and the wastegate tube have just been spot welded towards the downpipe. So I'm just letting it cool down until the heat-based movement stops. And I will be very careful when taking it down. I will add a whole bunch of spot welds once I get it out. And then I will actually cut off the wastegate pipe after marking it, so that I know where to cut the downpipe in order to have an opening in the downpipe for the wastegate tube. So yeah, and my bottle of argon gas is almost out, so I will keep on welding until it does, and then continue tomorrow. The gas ran out, but I managed to do all the welds in the area of where I need to do the cut for the wastegate tube. So I will focus on that and get another bottle of gas later today. So we have the spot welds which I used in order to fix the wastegate pipe to the downpipe. So I used the width of the tip of this permanent marker, the green one, and draw a line. And then I used this scribing pen, and on the inside of that, or sort of, I draw another line. So I will do a bit of cutting in here with normal cutting discs. Sort of up to size, and then I will use my air grinder and take out the rest, and every now and then put it back on to verify it. I will do the same thing for the wideband bung, and this is supposed to say rätt, so the right one. Yeah, can't really tell, but it will end up here. So we have a hole for the wastegate pipe. I ended up using first a cutting disc to get several cuts, and then a grinding disc for stainless to sort of grind out the majority, and then finish up the edge with the air grinder. And we also have a hole here for the the wideband sensor. So the bung is like this. It will sit like this. I did not have a drill bit big enough to make this hole, but I did have 10 millimeter, so I did that. And then I took this screw, because the washer is the same size as the bung. So yeah, you can maybe see that it's falling in. So I put this in the hole, and then I traced the outer edge of the washer. And you can also see that it's a bit shiny, so I used my drill and this wire wheel. So I will wire wheel at least all of the welds to clean them up. I went a bit overboard, so I've done a bit more, as you can see. But the idea was to clean up the area which will be covered with the wastegate tube. I will of course need to do the same on the wastegate tube before I weld it in place. After a few hours of welding, we finally have a downpipe completed with wastegate tube. It was a bit tricky, and I spent a lot of welding gas. We also have the bung for the wideband sensor. So yeah, and this no longer fits. It does touch the transmission mount, so I will, instead of redoing the downpipe, I will notch it a little bit. It's not much, and it's way more stable compared to my previous installation. So I will install this. So the downpipe is in place, and my ugly welds, and here you can see the contact, and I've decided to, so here's the catalytic converter, and I will make a cut here, because if I disconnect this V-band, then I have enough play in the flexpipe, or I can just rotate the V-band on the turbine housing, and then I can get clearance here. And also, maybe you can't see it, but the clearance between the exhaust and body is a bit too tight for my taste. So I will correct that by cutting here. So, and let's have a look from the top. I think it looks good. We have the wideband bung in place, but I need to chase the threads. I don't need to, but I will do it to be on the safe side before I thread in the wideband sensor. And as you can see, it's an Innovate LC1 that I have. Yeah, and for the downpipe we have good clearances, even with the adapter from the wastegate to the V-band. It's a bit tight, but if I rotate the downpipe like that, then I can get it past the adapter. So V-band to the turbo, V-band to the wastegate. Or yeah. So this project is not over yet. I have cut and added a small piece here. So by cutting, I made like 1 millimeter thick cut through the pipe, and I actually had to fill out about 4 or 5 millimeters with an extra piece just to get some
relief in tension, but that also means that we have clearance to the transmission mount and to the speedometer wire, so that's good. We also have clearance here, this little extra brace. So I will take it down now and weld it fully. I've made several welds, spot welds along the way, just to make sure that I lock in the position. So as you can see, the entire exhaust is now in place. I started to clean some of the welds. I will wire brush everything. We have clearance between the exhaust and the subframe, between the body and the exhaust, between that red bar and the exhaust, between the speedometer wire and the exhaust, between the transmission mount. So all that's left is to fully weld the V-band flange to the silencer, and also I need to fully weld the support and also add some sort of reinforcement. But other than that, I would actually say that the exhaust is finished. So that's really nice. The final two pieces are welded. So here we have a very sturdy bracket. And the V-band is welded as well on the silencer. It's not perfectly straight, so hopefully it will seal. This mount I will leave it as it is. This part is not stainless, these are. So yeah, we will see. Anyway, this bracket hangs basically a few decimeters away from the V-band, so it's well supported. So here you see the old exhaust next to the new one. So everything is welded on the new one. I do need to grind some welds on the inside at some places, but overall this is fine. The old one I will keep on the shelf, I think, at least for now. So yesterday, early afternoon, I took some measurement for my T3 gasket for my turbo, placed an order with Speeding, and they sure live up to their name. So I had it today, so I picked it up before I went to the garage. So here we have it, much better quality than the last one I had. Everything is correctly stamped. So really nice, really quick, good service. Highly recommended. So here we have the turbine housing, and I will clean up
some of the welds on the inside, also on the adapter for the wastegate. Just make it a little bit nicer. And I will be using this air grinder. I have wire wheeled it a bit. Oops. So I will clean it and then paint it and then heat treat it in order for the paint to cure. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it will stay on for at least 2 drives. I've done a bit of grinding also on this wastegate adapter. The green is from when I filed it a little bit just to see how much the flange was distorted. You can actually see it now, so quite a lot, but also a thin flange, so we'll see if I can adjust that a bit, not by grinding or anything, but actually pressing on it and shaping it. So let's paint this. The turbine housing is painted black, awaiting heat treatment. I will have to do that tomorrow. So as you can see, I've started with the heat treatment of the turbine housing in order to get the paint to cure. So I will leave it like this for a while and then lower it to blow into the other scroll. There you have it. The stainless steel exhaust is finished, at least for now. It's a big improvement over the previous install. Hangers are, now it's actually mounted instead of just hanging, so that's really nice. And I did leave out a few videos where I tried to start the engine in order to get the sound. It failed, and it was due to some let's say I had forgotten to tighten down a few wires. Unfortunately, those for the ignition coils, the grounds, that is. So I wish I had recorded that, because I gave everyone in the garage a big scare. So when I tried to start it, the injectors would fire, but not the spark plugs, meaning I would be spraying gasoline into the engine, which is then pumped out into the exhaust. And after a bit of troubleshooting, I realized that the grounds were not properly connected. So once I tried again, we got a bit of a fire. Not a fire, but I mean the gas, the fuel in the exhaust got lit up, which in the exhaust made it sound like a gunshot. I had a really high heartbeat from that, and the other guys, they thought that something went terribly wrong. And the guys who have the place directly across the sort of driveway from me, they have this plastic tarp hanging, and I just saw that blowing up from the energy coming out of the exhaust. Not blowing up, it was moving with the wind. But yeah, so that's also explains the amount of smoke that you were seeing in this startup when I had fixed all the grounds and so on. So nothing to be worried about, and it might have sounded a bit like I was revving too high, but it wasn't that high, and I had made sure that we did have a bit of temperature before I pushed the throttle. Anyway, so yeah, I'm happy that it's done, because it turned out great. And also, I only have the turbo, the catalytic converter, which is some sort of I think it's a 100 cell race cat, so for good flow, and then the silencer that I've had for 12 years or something. No muffler in between, no resonator in between, and it actually, I think it sounds good. It sounds much better than it did in this video, and also it sounds actually a lot lower than my E36, maybe even my E91, which the E91 have a muffler delete, or the rear silencer is replaced with a pipe instead. So I'm actually quite surprised that the sound is at this level. I was prepared to install an additional muffler or silencer or whatever somewhere in the exhaust, but I don't see the need for that. So that's really nice. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go now. So thank you very much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Remember that it's very important for the channel to grow, so that I can continue making videos like this. But yeah, stay safe, take care, bye bye.